Welcome to Housing TV News at the top of the hour, coming to you from our studio in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Neman Abagudu. Our top stories. Senate advances 3 key health bills to address infrastructure and manpower gaps. Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas harps on developing technical, vocational education in Nigeria. Nigerian partners Interpol to strengthen security. Federal ministries to boost housing infrastructure development. From the foreign scene, Amazon announces $100 million commitment to affordable housing in the city of Bellevue. We begin with the Senate. The Nigerian Senate has taken significant steps towards improving the country's healthcare system by advancing 3 major health bills aimed at addressing critical infrastructure and personnel shortages in the sector. The development was revealed during a public hearing on bills seeking to establish 2 specialist hospitals and a federal medical center in different regions of the country. Speaking at the hearing, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary, Senator Ipalibo Harry Banigo, Rivers West, emphasized the importance of these legislative efforts in strengthening Nigerians' healthcare framework.
And enacting health laws at this time is necessary to meet the ailing infrastructure and personnel demands in the health sector, necessitated by our growing population, emerging diseases, and the need for our manpower development, infrastructural development, and intellectual development. Today's hearing will focus on the establishment of specialist hospitals, of the orthopedic hospital, as I've mentioned, and of eye centers. And we know that these federal medical centers will boost access to healthcare delivery across our nation with the aim of bringing healthcare closer to the people.
These bills, which passed their second reading between October and November 2024, seek to improve healthcare access by establishing specialized hospitals and modernizing existing medical centers across Nigeria.
The National Assembly for giving us an opportunity. The community in the central zone of Bauchi State, and it has no tertiary facilities. Over time, we've been scrambling for tertiary presence between Jigawa, Birnin Kudu, Azare, and Bauchi for our tertiary needs. It is therefore important to underscore the importance of having the medical center in Ningi, which will actually represent the entire 6 local governments and beyond.
The public hearing was attended by Senate members, traditional leaders, health experts, and representatives of various stakeholders. The Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, NASIMA, has cautioned against the potential loss of over $200 billion in foreign direct investment and the risks of more than 600,000 jobs if the proposed tax reforms targeting free trade zones are implemented. This is coming at the second day of the public hearing on the tax reform bills when the president of NASIMA, Otumba Francis Mishoyi, expressed concerns about the impact of the proposed tax measures on free trade zones. Along with NASIMA, the Arewa Consultative Forum and the Oil Producing Trade Sector, OPTS, also made submissions before the House Committee on Finance. NASIMA acknowledged the necessity of the reforms. It warned against undermining business operators, describing the language of the bill as militarized and cautioning about potential legal and economic consequences, particularly concerning Sector 57 of the Nigerian tax bill.
Those have contributed, they have put their money down based on a law. You change the law on 1 week notice, that is unfair. And the people will end up in litigation. So I'm not issuing a threat, I'm just appealing that we shall have more engagement with them. Let us have something that works for all of us.
The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria also welcomed the proposed reduction in company income tax tax from 30% to 27%, highlighting its alignment with sections 187 and 189 of the Nigerian tax bill.
One of our concerns could be found on second schedule of Section 60 of the Nigeria tax bills. Briefly, the provision of the tax bill on the free trade zone should be upheld as it offers clarity and aligns with the intent and letters of the enabling laws. We believe that it does not in any way jeopardize the incentives offered to the operators within the zone.
For the Arewa Consultative Forum, emphasized the need for careful planning, effective communication, and strategic implementation of the tax reform bills.
The issue of going to law, saying that derivation should be 60%, this should be this, it is not everything you put in a law. There are subsidiary legislation, guidelines. Don't go and put everything in a law. Leave it to guidelines. Nigerian National Revenue Service with National Fiscal Commission, Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, that's their own job. They sit down, state government, local government, politically, they now determine how to share this revenue.
In response to these concerns raised, the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Commitment and the Federal Inland Revenue Service provided clarifications. Chairman of the Presidential Committee, Taiwo Oyedele, explained that while currency in circulation is about 4 trillion naira, the total money supply exceeds 100 trillion naira. His explanation was reinforced by other government officials who assured Nasima that their concerns were being addressed.
So the Atlantic that you made the example of, they don't need to export sand. They just need to stay within their zone and they'll be exempted. When they export, they'll be exempted. There is no law today, not the NEPSA Act, not the Oil and Gas Act, no other law that says when you bring it to the custom territory, you can sell without paying taxes. And there's no country where they're doing that.
You are exporting your 10 naira cost goods to Ghana, to Togo, to anywhere. It's okay. But when you want to come and sell in Nigeria, you said I should fold my hand. You produce your own goods because you don't pay tax as 10 naira. You come to custom area, you sell it at 15 naira. The person in custom area that is paying us taxes that we are using to do the road, to provide the electricity, to do all those things, has produced his own at 25. You come to cut the market and you are selling at 15. So if how can the person that is doing what we need will compete?
The contentious provisions in the Nigerian tax reform bills proposes the introduction of minimum tax rates and the removal of long-standing tax exemptions for businesses operating within free trade zones. Industry stakeholders argue that these contradict Nigerians' industrialization and investment goals. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, has reaffirmed the commitment of the 10th National Assembly to enact strong legislative measures to protect and empower women in politics. The Speaker said these at the Nigerian Women Leadership and Empowerment Conference 2025 with the theme Investing in Nigerian Women, Securing Our Future in Abuja. He stressed the importance of gender-inclusive governance and policies that ensure equal representation for women in political and economic spheres.
I'm delighted to join in delivering the keynote address at the Nigerian Women Leadership and Empowerment Conference 2025. The theme, Investing in Nigerian Women, Securing Our Future. It is both apt and timely. I extend my heartfelt appreciation to our First Lady, Her Excellency Senator Oluremi Tinubu, and our esteemed counterpart, Her Excellency Hajia Nana Kashim Shettima, for their steadfast dedication to improving the economic and political conditions of women in Nigeria. The 1999 Constitution as amended underscores that the security and welfare of the people is the primary purpose of government. That is captured under Section 14, subsection 2B. while emphasizing that the state social order is founded on ideals of freedom, equity, and justice.
The Minister of Women Affairs says the executive and the legislature will collaborate and make laws that will promote women empowerment in all aspects of governance.
Government is continuous, so there are things that we have met on ground and there are things that we're pushing to see that those structural changes do happen, because one thing it does for the system is sustainability. When we do things intentionally and we kind of setting the right systems in place and structures. So we're coming strongly from the policy angle. It's very important that we review policy documents and we have enough policy documents and guidelines across various issues, so that, because it's a space where we have a lot of players, we have a lot of people supporting, different issues. So we must have guidelines as a government so that it guides other players and stakeholders in the space.
Earlier, the chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development, Honorable Kafilat Ogbara, described the Nigerian Women Leadership and Empowerment Conference 2025 as more than just an event. She called it a movement aimed at breaking barriers and creating opportunities for future generations of women.
The She House is still in the oven, and I don't want to talk about it yet. It's a big thing. So, because for me, I believe we have to be deliberate and intentional. It's not just about having conferences, having events, and then we talk, and nothing happens after the event. So we are just, I as an individual, and of course my Committee of Women Affairs and Social Development, we are being deliberate to take action and act. So it's not only that, we also have in the pipeline, having our female caucus, all the elected, women in all elected offices, so that the seats of the elected members are retained. For no reason should any woman that has been elected be removed by our political parties, because we are so few. And we cannot continue that trend, because the women that are existing in political offices, the only target that the men have is to get them off, the seats. And of course, the She House is about empowering our women, giving them a new life, because a lot of time our young girls are violated, women are violated, not only young girls.
The First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, Speaker of the House of Representatives Abbas Tajuddin, and the Honorable Minister of FCT Nyesom Wike were all presented with awards for their remarkable contribution towards women's recognition at the conference. Now to security matter, the Ministry of Police Affairs, in collaboration with Interpol, the Nigerian Police Force, and the National Central Bureau Abuja, has organized a high-level workshop aimed at bolstering internal security across the country, with the theme Strengthening Internal Security, a Path to a Safer Nigeria. The event seeks to enhance law enforcement capabilities to combat rising security threats in the country. In his welcome address, the Minister of Police Affairs, Ibrahim Gaidam, says the workshop is designed to fortify the nation's security framework by leveraging Interpol's vast resources and global network of 176 member countries. He also highlighted key achievements of the ministry, which includes the establishment of a National Crime Data Center, a legal framework for West African policing, and an MOU with Interpol to strengthen transnational crime fighting efforts.
The erosion of safety in our country extends far beyond the direct consequences of crime. It calls for a robust response to strengthen our internal security framework with the aid of advanced international policing tools. As technology evolves, so too must our strategies to combat these threats. Interpol is a prestigious organization with membership spanning 176 countries. This workshop is convened
in a goodwill message on behalf of the Inspector General of Police. A senior police officer reaffirmed the commitment of the forces to ensure the safety of citizens, businesses, and foreign nationals.
Strengthening internal security is not merely the responsibility of law enforcement agencies. It is a collective endeavor
that requires the involvement of government institutions, civil society, and private sector. This endeavor demands a holistic approach that encompasses prevention, response, and community engagement.
The Chief of Defense Staff, who also was represented by Major General Olutokunbo Bello, noted that the workshop is a strategic move to enhance intelligence sharing with aim of aligning Nigerian security strategies with global best practices.
It is my firm conviction that the workshop will provide opportunities for the participants to rub minds and share ideas for collaboration to improve Interpol activities that will enhance the security of our nation and that of our partners.
As the country navigates a security landscape, this collaboration with Interpol is expected to reinforce crime-fighting efforts and pave the way for a safer and more stable nation. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, has harped on the need to develop the nation's technical and vocational education to impact positively on national development by equipping the youths with practical skills. The Speaker said this at a public hearing organized by the House Committee on Polytechnics and Higher Technical Education at the National Assembly Complex in Abuja. He says there is a need to amend existing laws or introduce new ones to improve Nigerians' technical and vocational education. The Speaker was represented by the Chairman of the House Committee on Student Loans, Honorable Ifeoluwa Eyinderu, at the hearing.
The proposed Federal Polytechnic Addiko Benue State is expected to provide essential training opportunities for aspiring entrepreneurs in science, technical education, and management science. It is envisaged that this polytechnic will focus on equipping individuals with management, technical, and entrepreneurial skills necessary for fostering innovation and economic growth and development. The proposed National College for Entrepreneurship and Skill Acquisition, Ilela, Sokoto State, will address specific needs to those seeking entrepreneurial knowledge and skills tailored to meet local business needs.
Chairman of the House Committee on Polytechnics and Higher Technical Education, Faaud Laguda, in his remarks says the two bills strongly align with the quest by the House to ensure a strategic educational progress and sustainable human capital development in Nigeria.
It is therefore important for us to prioritize and recognize the importance of establishing these academic and training institutions for specific purposes of driving economic growth, improving the standard of our youth, creating platforms for the skill acquisition and empowering human capital, as well as addressing general societal challenges. The passage of these bills into law would adequately ensure that our youth are technologically empowered to strategically address the complex challenges of unemployment, wealth or income inequality, and chronic poverty in our society.
Members also supported the establishment of the proposed institutions for the benefit and value it will add to the host communities and the country in general.
Mr. Chairman, it will also develop a catalyst and model for entrepreneurship centers within the state and the nation by focusing on sharpening the creativity and innovation of youth, training and challenge their energies toward self-employment.
The proposed polytechnic will offer a wide range of programs in information technology, engineering, healthcare, and entrepreneurship. These programs will be designed to meet the needs of our local communities, providing students with the skills and training required to fill in-demand jobs in our country today. Also, by providing access to affordable and high-quality education, we can help create a level playing field for our young people
from disadvantaged backgrounds. We can give them the tools they need to break the cycle of poverty and achieve their full potentials.
And now to Benue State, where the state governor, Hyacinth Alia, has laid to rest the controversy surrounding the removal of the Chief Judge of Benue State, Justice Morus Ikpebisi. The governor, who disclosed this to newsmen in Abuja shortly after the All Progressive Congress NEC meeting, stated that he has never endorsed the removal of the Chief Judge of the state or appointed another Chief Judge, as he is fully aware of the procedure. However, he said he has acknowledged the recommendation of the Benue State House of Assembly and has already sent a letter to the National Judicial Commission to that effect, stressing that only the NJC can give a green light to that effect.
Yeah, people need to understand that procedural. The members of the Benue State House of Assembly did the work they had to do. Having done that, the base was now shifted to my desk as a governor. People need to understand that I never endorsed. I read their documentations, I read all the labeled allegations and everything. But this was not endorsed for the removal and the swearing in of another CJ. Because the procedure had to be followed. I understand the process. So I only had to now send the letter of complaint to the NJC. A number of people are failing to take cognizance of that narrative. But this is a fact of it.
With the governor's break of silence, the grave tension in Benue State over the Chief Judge removal drama is down waiting for the outcome of the investigation of the National Judicial Commission, as the body has already acknowledged the recipient of a petition against Justice Morus Ikpebisi. The Nigerian Economic Summit Group, NESG, has raised concerns that U.S. President Donald Trump's tax reforms may lead to a reduction in foreign direct investment FDI in Nigeria, according to NESG's report titled Trump's Policy Playbook, Strategic Implementation for Nigeria, released in February 2025. Trump's tax policies may encourage U.S. firms to repatriate investments, thereby reducing capital inflows into Nigeria. According to NESG, to counter these, Nigeria should attract investors from China, the EU, and Gulf nations by improving its investment climate. We take a pause here. News stories from the build sector are up next. Stay with us.
Get credible and authentic housing news at your fingertips by downloading the Housing TV mobile app. You can also join the African International Housing Show live from across the globe through the Housing TV mobile app. The mobile app features live streaming and trending housing news. You can locate the AIHS venue via the app, network with AIHS seasoned speakers, and live chat with exhibitors. You can also order house or building materials at AIHS via this app. Download the Housing TV mobile app now from the App Store and Google Play Store. And don't forget to click on the notification button. Available for both iOS and Android users. Housing TV is also on Star Times, channel 149 decoder.
You're still watching Housing TV News at the top of the hour. Now to the build sector. The Federal Ministry of Regional Development and the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development has initiated a partnership to address housing, urbanization, and infrastructural development challenges, particularly in Nigeria's northern regions. The collaboration was formalized during a meeting between the Minister of State for Regional Development, Uba Megari Amadu, and the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Architect Ahmed Musa Dengiwa, in Abuja recently. According to a statement released by Abdul Rashid Y. Safana, head of the Press and Public Relations Unit of the Ministry of Regional Development, the initiative aims to facilitate affordable housing, urban renewal, infrastructure expansion, and capacity building. In response, Dengiwa welcomed the initiative and emphasized the importance of interministerial cooperation in driving efficiency and avoiding duplication of efforts. Both ministers reaffirmed their commitment to working together, leveraging their expertise and resources to improve housing and infrastructure development across the country. The partnership aligns with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda for sustainable national development. In another development, the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, Dr. Shoaib Belgore, has restated the commitment of the federal government to solving the housing needs of Nigerians. Belgore stated this when he hosted the marketing manager of China Harbour Engineering Company Limited, Mr. Nicholas Liu, who led his management officers on a visit to the ministry. Belgore explained that the ministry currently has 14 active construction sites spread across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, building housing cities and estates, hoping to be commissioned by May 29th. He told the Chinese team that the ministry is open to public-private partnership as it will further advance the solution to housing problems in Nigeria, urging them to cooperate with the ministry to ensure more housing are timely provided. Earlier, the marketing manager of the China Harbour Engineering Company Limited, Nicholas Liu, explained that the company has executed so many gigantic urban housing projects internationally in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and Sri Lanka. Nicholas added that his organization adheres to the concept of building, operating, and developing cities, and it has successfully completed world-class comprehensive urban development projects such as Colombo Port City in Sri Lanka and the Grand in Los Angeles, USA. In a ceremony marked by a strong commitment to urban development and professional excellence, Town Planner Queen Phillips was officially inaugurated as the chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners NITP FCT chapter.
NITP, Nigerian Institute of Town Planners FCT chapter secretariat building. There is no doubt that this project has come a long way through the efforts of past administrations, with special tributes to the late town planner Zainab Olumuji, who was instrumental to the acquisition of the land. The groundbreaking has been done. The ESCO will be committed to making sure that the project is expedited to the next stages of its development. Maybe soon we will start having meetings at the site. A call for unity and participation. To achieve these goals and many more which are not stated here, we need the collective efforts of all members. I urge every town planner in the FCT to actively participate in our programs, contribute their expertise, and work together in the best interest of our profession and society.
The event held in Abuja heralded a new era for the Institute, with Town Planner Phillips outlining a strategic vision focused on strengthening professionalism, fostering robust collaboration, and empowering the next generation of town planners. From the foreign scene, Amazon is committing $100 million in the city of Bellevue to accelerate the production of affordable housing for low to moderate income families. Amazon will partner closely with the city of Bellevue on this initiative with the goal of decreasing construction timelines by 1 to 2 years, helping to get individuals and families into their new homes faster. This Bellevue commitment is part of Amazon's $3.6 billion initiative to preserve and create 35,000 affordable homes across the Puget Sound, National Capital, and Nashville regions. The commitment will support projects throughout Bellevue with a particular focus on projects supported by the city and on Bellevue's 3 city-owned transit-oriented sites, giving low to moderate income families close proximity to community resources. Housing Minister of New Zealand Chris Bishop and local government minister Simon Watts says new and improved infrastructure funding and financing tools will help get more houses built and address New Zealand's housing crisis. Both ministers added that fixing New Zealand's housing crisis will help lift economic growth, boost productivity, and lift the country's living standards. They further added that the government's Going for Housing Growth program focuses on fixing the fundamentals of the country's housing crisis, land supply, infrastructure, and incentives for growth. That's the much we can take on Housing TV News at the top of the hour. Before we go, a quick recap of our top story. Senate advances 3 key health bills to address infrastructure and manpower gaps. Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas harps on developing technical, vocational education in Nigeria. Nigeria partners Interpol to strengthen security. Federal ministries to boost housing infrastructure development. From the foreign scene, we saw Amazon announces $100 million commitment to affordable housing in the city of Bellevue. For more news in the housing sector, subscribe to Housing TV Africa on YouTube and follow Housing TV Africa on all social media platforms. Download Housing TV Africa mobile app on Google Play Store and Apple Store to stay connected wherever you go. I am Maimuna Bagudu. Bye for now, and thanks for watching.